It's definitely been a hot minute since I made one of these videos talking about the Spider-Man Brand New Day leaks, but there has just been, too much, I think, to talk about over the last couple of days where I really felt like I had to make a video on this, and it was just literally a couple of days ago I released a video talking about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 and the massive update we of course had on that. So really cool to see that we are genuinely getting a lot of really cool Spider-Man news to, of course, talk about. But the first thing that I really wanted to talk about is the brand new leak of the plot that, of course, has been kind of floating around all around the internet. It does say that in Brand New Day, Spider-Man is rumored to team up with the Punisher to stop mind-controlled damage control agents freeing the Scorpion. In an interview with Daniel RPK, Spider-Man Brand New Day was reportedly filming a scene where Spider-Man and the Punisher fight mind-controlled DODC agents trying to free Scorpion from prison. We of course did see some set leaks and rumors of what looks to be a prison break of some kind as well. I've said it once and I'll say it again, but I really do think this movie is going to take a ton of inspiration from the video games, because the video games are pretty much just free story to copy and paste, and you're going to get some good shit out of them, because Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 on the PS4 and PS5 are two of the greatest story games of all time, and some people have them as the greatest story games of all time. There's some really good stuff in there, and of course there has been a kind of part of the games where Scorpion has been semi-broken out of Rikers, of course, in the video games, and that could be something that they take inspiration from and use that as a scene for, this as well. I also think the Scorpion suit, from what we're hearing, is going to take a lot of inspiration from the games, and it's going to be interesting to see why are these mind control people, why are these agents, trying to free the Scorpion, and do they go on to give him the suit? These leaks really, I think, actually give you more questions than they do actually go on to answer. It is going to be really interesting to see why this is happening. Outside of that as well, it has been said as of late, according to Cosmic Circus, that Sadie Sink is rumored to be playing a shapeshifter in Spider-Man Brand New Day. We know it did just recently get confirmed that she is supposed to be in Avengers Secret Wars. She also did say in an interview that hair dye is a thing when talking about her color, a character, which could really point towards her being like a Gwen Stacy or something like that, but I actually think that's her tricking the fans and something she has possibly said. But the recent rumor that has been going around for a long time has suggested she's been a different character. Of course, the character has been mentioned to be Rachel Cole, who is kind of like the sidekick of the Punisher. She has red hair. We've also seen some set photos of Sadie Sink wearing some camo pants, which could suggest this is what's happening as well. But a shapeshifter really does bring a lot of new meaning, and it could mean she's absolutely anyone. Like, she could be a newer character that we have never even heard before. No one had really heard of Mr. Negative before the games unless you had read comics. If you had read comics, you knew who Mr. Negative was, or if you're like most people who hadn't read the comics, you had no idea who Mr. Negative was going into the games. Sadie Sink could legitimately be playing a character here who I have no idea who she is. Most of you guys have no idea who she is. And she could be just some lower character from the comics they're building up and turning into a really big character in the movies. There's a lot of different options that they could be going here. But a shapeshifter is a really interesting one, because, you could absolutely fuck around with Tom Holland's Peter Parker's feelings and how he sees the world. If she goes and shapeshifts into freaking Zendaya or Zendaya as MJ, or she goes and shapeshifts into freaking Ned, goes and shapeshifts into Aunt May. You could be truly setting up some really cool story scenes of Tom Holland basically wigging it out and being like, am I speaking to Aunt May right now? Isn't she dead? What is going on? You could really create a cool narrative for that. And this could set Sadie Sink's character up to be like a villain, an anti-hero, something really, really strange that just no one is theorizing. So I love that there's a lot of different options here and there's a lot going on. Again, we just hear so many leaks about this movie that don't tell us anything about what's going on. There was a leak like a couple weeks ago that suggested there's going to be like ninjas in this movie, and there's going to be a scene of Spider-Man fighting ninjas. I mean, what the hell? What are we genuinely talking about here? What does ninjas have to do with Spider-Man? What is going on there? We've heard for a long time as well that the main villain of this movie is going to be a female, and it's not one we're going to expect. I mean, what does that have to... What does that mean? So, I think it's really cool knowing that, we saw everything from No Way Home leaked, from like every character being in the film to like kind of the plot by the time the film came out. But Brand New Day, we know absolutely nothing, and we keep hearing these leaks that just suggest so many different things. Is Sadie Sink Gwen Stacy? Is she the Punisher's sidekick? Or is she a shapeshifter? Like, who is she? We really don't know. But the overall, leaks that Scorpion is going to be getting broken out of jail here, I mean, we know that is happening, and we know it's happening in some capacity. Why are mind control, damage control agents freeing Scorpion? Who's mind controlling them? I mean, the obvious one would be Mr. Negative. It just makes the most amount of sense for Mr. Negative to be the one doing it. He was also introduced in the Brand New Day comic run as well. That would be the obvious choice, but we've legitimately heard that Mr. Negative is just not in this movie, and that the main villain is going to be a female. I mean, who is mind controlling these people if it's not Mr. Negative? How does that make any sense? I don't know. There's a lot of different things going on. We've even heard other stuff. One report here saying that the MCU is now rumored to be introducing a new Green Goblin and a new Doc Ock. According to the Cosmic Circus, the MCU is rumored to introduce new versions of Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus for Tom Holland's Spider-Man. This is not a new leak. This has been something we've been seeing by a couple different leakers over the last year or two. At the end of the day, it seems like that is the plan, and that's going to be the plan for future movies. Also, leaks saying that Tombstone not only has a role in this movie, but is also going to have a role for future movies as well. I think we're going to see a lot of foundation set for the upcoming trilogy and future Avengers films of Tom Holland's Spider-Man here. Not only do I think Sadie Sink's character could be playing a role over this trilogy, but we're probably going to be getting a new Norman Osborn. We're going to be getting a new Otto Octavius. When are we going to see them turn into the characters that we know and love, the villains we know and love? That's going to be the question. Tombstone, we know, is going to be in this trilogy as well. It's really cool that we're going to be getting a lot of reoccurring characters in this trilogy, because that's something we didn't kind of see in the first trilogy. The only reoccurring characters were the basic ones. There weren't really any reoccurring villains or anything like that. But it does look like this movie's going to feature, trilogy's going to have Tombstone and more. I wouldn't be surprised if Norman Osborn has a small role in this film. Maybe Otto has a small role. I don't really know. There's a lot to really kind of speculate here. It's going to be awesome to see how it does unfold. But yeah, we're supposed to be getting, I think, a trailer pretty early on to next year. And that is literally not even too far away at this point. So that is really exciting to see. But I'm very interested to see where they go with this movie and what it's going to look like. I just hope we find out something new very soon, hopefully in the trailer, because, I mean, this stuff about ninjas and stuff, I have no idea where they're taking this movie at this point, other than it seems to be the Hulk, Punisher, and Spider-Man being main roles. Hulk probably being like the main villain of some capacity, alongside whoever the woman is. I don't really know. Again, comment your thoughts and opinions down below on how you guys think Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to go. Are you excited for it, or do you think it kind of sounds like there's too much happening? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to leave a like on this video to let me know you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel for all latest gaming and movie content. Go and check out my sports channel, will be linked down below as well. And give me a follow on Instagram if you haven't already as well. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.